With Tenzin's daughter as her spiritual guide, the Avatar has one mission: to close the spirit portal before harmonic convergence.
Honestly, right now in the show, do we know that Korra's plan to close the spirit portal would even work with her in spirit form? We know bending is tied to your physical body, and the only time we've seen anyone open or close a gate, they've been in physical form. Maybe she just reckons spirit portal, I'm a spirit, still makes sense. In the previously on segment here, we get the shot of Vaatu in the tree, but the energy keeping him trapped doesn't seem to be there. Maybe it didn't read very well in the sepia tone colors. Hooray!
I can't believe my little girl had to guide Korra into the spirit world instead of me.
So true, that is what happened, Tenzin. While we're talking about weird, blunt writing, though, does anyone think it's really contrived that Korra is only aware of Unalaq's plans because she got mauled by a spirit randomly in the ocean, washed up on a beach without her memories, and it just so happens that beach was to give the information the Avatar needs about the villain's evil plans through a spiritual double feature beach? Like, we wouldn't be doing any of this if Korra washed up on the beach the next island over, or if she didn't get hit specifically just hard enough to both lose her memories and not die somehow. Okay, so this episode does really turn the spirit world, unfortunately, into Wonderland, and it's another problem of, like, what do you want? It's the spirit world. How do you make the spirit world? What is the spirit world? I don't know, but I do know I would like it to be foreign and weird and maybe not even use the real world's rules and physics. When Aang entered, it was a lot closer to the vibe I was sort of hoping for, but in this episode, it really just feels like, ooh, wacky land. I'm gonna be honest, why isn't this the spirit that dummied Korra a few episodes ago? It's got a way more interesting design, and it'd be cool to see it again here. Why do you have to hold your breath? You're spirits, you don't have bodies. Surely your physical bodies are still breathing, right? What the fuck? Why didn't we get more spirit designs like this? They're still in the weird, glowy, radiating darkness design I don't really care for. But at least these ones have interesting features. If they did more like this, I'd bitch about it way less. Man, good thing they had that young Korra design queued up. But with how this episode sets up emotions to work in the spirit world, this must be that Korra's feeling of hopelessness and weakness has left her feeling like she's in this form. Like when she was a kid, even though she was ultra competent as a kid too, but, I mean, less so. And that's all fine and dandy and whatever, but doesn't that also imply that we should get Dark Korra when she's angry in the spirit world? Or is she immune to the dark mode because she's half Rava?
So good to see you again! You're so big here.
I noticed this as well.
It's Wan Shi Tong's spirit library.
Oh, okay, it is? So it was in the physical world, that's for sure, but I guess after Wan Shi Tong sunk it, it just went back to the spirit world. Sokka definitely has a line in Airbender that seems to imply the library originates in the spirit world. I just wonder how it works. Is it in two places at once, or was it in the physical world for a long time, and then Wan Shi Tong just recently brought it back when Sokka pissed him off?
Ah! Get away!
What the hell? I don't care how cute you are. Why are you swooping at me, you dick? Cut that shit out. I'm scared and a child out here.
You two look lost. Maybe I can help you.
I know you.
Okay, it's very cool that Korra just knows Iroh. It's the same kind of beat of Aang just knowing Roku. A little different, but same vibe. What I've never been cool with them doing is dragging up Iroh's corpse for these episodes. It feels dirty to me almost. It feels like fan service in one of the worst ways. He's here, but he's only really here to look at. He helps Korra, but only on a very, very surface level with a problem that has very obvious advice to solve it. It's just, if you're gonna have one of everyone's favorite characters from the previous show inexplicably return, man, at least give him something to do. And you might say, well, helping Korra is a huge thing to do, but man, for me, those scenes just do not hit.
I'm glad you came to visit us in the spirit world, Korra.
What the hell are you talking about, old man? How are you even here? What does this even imply? What is the afterlife in the Avatar universe? I get that you were spiritual in life, but you're certainly dead at this point. If you're spiritual enough, do you just get to choose to chill in the spirit world forever? What if you're not spiritual enough? Do you just go to the never-ending void? Is there a hell? A heaven? How are you even here? But overanalyzing Avatar, you don't want them to explain the magic. I want them to explain this! Why is Iroh here? However, it is nice symbolism that Iroh is literally the light in the dark, and he leads Korra out of the darkness and into the light. Kind of like that scene with Aang.
A little tea party to celebrate Meijim's wedding.
How can you marry each other? Aren't you?
I'm gonna be honest, this joke kind of flew over my head the first 10 times. Korra is confused because these two spirits are literally conjoined. I'm not sure how I ever missed that. Also, who cut this cake? Were you even trying?
The spirit world is very mysterious, but so is love.
Whatever the hell that means, Iroh, you're 0 for 1.
Help yourself to some tea and cakes.
Iroh seems to cut the cake here, but it was already cut, and it still looks like it's only missing one slice.
My teapot!
That's right. It was yours long, long ago. It's my favorite thing I found here.
You just found it? It still exists 10,000 years later? All right, Iroh. I guess I'll let it slide considering you're the tea guy and it's literally the teapot of light, so it's kind of funny.
I could just stay in here forever, reading.
The last human who said that is still here.
Holy God, that's kind of dark, but also I like that it kind of implies that Professor Zay and Wan Shi Tong came to an agreement. If he was just out in the open reading like this, it seems like Wan Shi Tong was alright with him staying, at least for however long it took him to die of thirst, so not long.
What is the little girl going to teach Wan Shi Tong? He who knows 10,000 things.
We're gonna get into the 10,000 discourse, oh, don't you worry.
So you should know that humans are no longer allowed in my library. Get out!
I gotta say, I kinda like the weirdly a bit unhinged angle they went with for Wan Shi Tong. He speaks much faster, he's all up in Janora's face. And it makes sense in your head, right? Because he's probably been alone since Professor Zay died, decades at this point. But I don't think it does make sense. He hates any human being in his library anyway. He probably goes for years at a time without seeing anyone. And he's probably impossibly old. Plus, now he's in the spirit world, so other spirits probably drop in on occasion. I like the energy, I might even say I fuck with it. I just don't know where it comes from. He's also coming for your worst posture imaginable trophy. Yeah, that's right. Straighten up.
Now go away.
My grandfather was the Avatar.
Is? I guess maybe, like in a weird spiritual sense. Furryfoot over here is hiding behind maybe the exact same pillar that the gang did? I don't know, it's hard to tell since this area is set up like a cross.
You came with the Avatar, Well, why didn't you say so? Fine. You may look around.
Wan Shi Tong, you better not be punking Janora right now.
They say that the game of Pai Sho was invented by the spirits.
I'd believe it. That shit's old. But then again, spirits and humans didn't seem to be on the best of terms back in the day. And then they stopped being on, like, the same plane of existence, so...
When my work was done in the material world, I chose to leave my body behind and come to the spirit world.
You just made that conscious decision, eh? You could just do that? So say if Unalaq, since he's highly spiritual, was in a tight spot, he could just choose to go into the spirit world indefinitely?
You're not alone, Korra. It's okay.
No, it's not okay. Janora's gone and I need to find her. She's lost and we need to go home. I don't like the spirit world. I don't want to be here anymore.
Okay, I know Korra looks like she's 4 years old here, but she's still mentally her actual age, right? So she just bursts into this screaming tantrum anyway? It's kind of funny.
I did that?
In the spirit world, your emotions become your reality. Especially for the Avatar.
This is step one of Korra's completely bewildering characterization. This messaging is good though, I like this. That even though you can't control the circumstances around you, you can always make them worse or better through your attitude and the way you act. And of course those actions and your negative emotions have a horrible ripple effect on the people around you, something Korra's selfishness and closed-mindedness has definitely done to her friends and family. Having it be explained here, visually to her, while blunt, I always thought it was a very effective way to get that message across. It's a little much to have it be so fast and so effective, her just calming down and saying sorry. I get what they were going for, but
I can make the sun shine?
it's a little clunky.
You will find that if you look for the light, you can often find it. But if you look for the dark, that is all you will ever see.
This Iroh wisdom is fine. I find it's a lot less hard-hitting than his best lines from Airbender. It's not very deep. He basically just says, look on the bright side, don't be negative. And it's okay, but it really falls at the feet of his quotes about inner strength and making it through life when it seems impossible. Big things that you can think back on and feel empowered or comforted by. Iroh's wisdom often isn't concepts you've never heard or thought of before, but the way he phrases it and the words he chooses and how he delivers it is where the true gravity of his wisdom is found. And I don't feel like this one checks many of those boxes.
I'll take him home. Where do I go?
The top of High Rio Peak.
Oh, on top of the Evil Mountain, got it.
Ugh, it's not in here either.
Bro, you look for like 1 second. What if it is in there? It's cool that the library is overgrown by vines now. It gives a cool ancient vibe, and it goes with Wan Shi Tong's more erratic behavior nicely.
The elders believed that as long as the portals are closed during the harmonic convergence, Vaatu will remain imprisoned and the battle between good and evil will not be fought again. If both portals are open, spirit energy is amplified greatly. This energy will be great enough to allow Vaatu to break free from his bonds.
Is that right? Good thing the elders just just guessed all of this stuff since there hasn't been a harmonic convergence since then. Also, if Vaatu gets buffed enough to break free of his prison during harmonic convergence, why didn't he just break out instantly when Juan put him in there? The portals were still harmonized when he got locked up, just burst out to keep the fight going. Also, isn't it crazy that Aang missed the 10,000 year cycle of having to battle Satan by 16 or 17 years? We could have had him versus Vaatu, or worse, Aang lives a decade and some change longer and Vaatu just blows up Korra for being 5 years old.
I'm the Avatar! You gotta deal with...
This energy will be great enough to allow Vaatu to break free from his bonds. We have to warn Korra.
You do? Wasn't that kind of the idea already? What are we doing here of not trying to close the spirit portal so Unalaq doesn't have the chance to do exactly that?
Leaving so soon?
No, you've been punked.
I can't believe Tenzin sent his daughter here instead of coming himself. What kind of a father is he?
Better than you.
Got him, whatever that meant. So wait, is Unalaq's presence powerful enough on its own to change spirits? Korra's outburst was explained to be so effective because she's the Avatar and she's part all-powerful spirit, so that makes some kind of sense. But Unalaq at the moment is just like a dude. But he's so sinister and mean he can just make spirits evil by being near them. Thank God they at least spared Wan Shi Tong of getting the weird evil treatment.
The people who have been coming to the spirit world lately have brought darkness and anger.
Yes, Unalaq has been coming to the spirit world. It made this mountain evil. He's also been radicalizing Wan Shi Tong, Korra. The guy's a real dick. Have you heard of him?
Many things that seem threatening in the dark become welcoming when we shine a light on them.
Maybe this one's a little better. He means like lack of knowledge on a thing or a people or anything will feel scary, but then when you're open to learning, those things can become enriching. Which is more in line with the Iroh wisdom I think we all like, even if the phrasing still doesn't seem as sharp. Man, that mountain is evil, and man, that building is yellow.
It's okay. You can be my friends.
They look even scarier?
My name is Korra, and I'm taking this dragon bird home.
Okay, here's my big problem with this episode. So Korra has been acting really close-minded and rude this entire season, right? Just like every little thing she can find to blow up about, she does. Everyone is against her, no one is on her team in her own head. But now that she has a sit-down with Iroh, and he speaks softly to her about how her emotions and actions affect the world around her negatively, her character is flipped entirely, and will be flipped like this for the rest of the season. That's all it took. And sure, she apologized to Tenzin and was pleasant enough last episode, but all that really felt like, oh god, I fucked up so bad, I need to fix this. I need to be open to any help I can get. I really hope Tenzin doesn't hold a grudge for me being a dick. She didn't really learn any lesson, she just had Iroh explain being mean and angry is bad, and now she will no longer be mean and angry. Huh, why didn't Iroh just do that with Zuko, right? He tried, over and over, but very realistically, that shit didn't work, because someone has to be at the point themselves where that kind of advice can really hit them and mean something. And Korra has not exhibited to me that she's at that kind of place yet. She was mean and angry and then went on a spiritual journey and is now on another spiritual journey, but none of it has been about her yet. Not until she sat down at the tea party. This beat in her arc is incredibly rushed and falls hilariously flat. Oh god, Korra, why did you do that? You vaporized them!
So you've returned, Rama.
How'd you do that? Who did that? Did Korra do that? Did Vaatu do that? Why are you humoring the towel of extreme evil? Close the portal, you dunce! Now you're gonna walk back over? What the hell? Why did you come over here? Who did that? What was that move?
Jinora!
So now this implies that Unalaq is so evil that him just being around makes all spirits dark, except Wan Shi Tong, I guess, which overpowers Korra's natural half-light spirit aura. It made sense when it was Vaatu, but Unalaq just has this level of darkness about him.
Let her go!
If you want your friend to make it out of the spirit world, you'll open the other portal now.
I'm doing a vague darkness at her, Korra. I guess this is the opposite of the golden glowy water move. I have an evil version too. What the hell is going on? He says this will destroy her soul?
Lose your friend's soul.
What is happening, man? Why was this so poorly set up? I don't even know what the golden version really is. This shit is just magic. Anyone who calls this soul-destroying water any kind of bending is trying to sell you something.
I'll do it.
So just to be clear, the only reason Unalaq's plan comes to fruition is because Korra came into the spirit world to close the other portal. But we learn through Jinora that they definitely need both portals to be open. So in reality, Korra could have just not done anything, kept away from Unalaq until after harmonic convergence, and Unalaq would have had no way to free Vaatu. And Korra, with a little thought, probably could have put that together, since both portals meeting seemed to be a big part of harmonic convergence when she watched it like the other day. But no, now she's here and Unalaq's plan gets to happen. Also, like I mentioned, just leave? Okay, maybe Jinora can't leave now because she's wrapped up in the evil water, but what was stopping her from just leaving the spirit world as soon as she saw Unalaq? Oh, but I gotta find Korra. Not really. She will also just leave the spirit world eventually, you could easily assume. They are not trapped. They're just meditating. All of this tension is built on a farce. Is Vaatu getting physically bigger? I don't think we ever saw him get smaller like Rava.
Now let Jinora go.
You should have come through the portal. Then you could do this.
I know. I'm paying attention, Unalaq. Don't worry. I know she can't bend. Thanks for the reminder, though. Oh, Korra's gonna lose a fight. What's gonna come out of nowhere and save her this time? The previous 2 times it was Unalaq and a random ocean current. This time, oh yes, the dragon bird, of course. And yeah, this one's a little different since she's got no bending, but I'm just saying, this chick stays losing.
Why isn't she waking up? Korra! What happened to my little girl?
Everything went wrong, and this hyper-intelligent girl who knows loads about the spirit world didn't think to just leave. I don't know what to tell you, Tenzin. This episode is where things really start to fly off the rails quality-wise. The writing is all over the place. Things just seem to happen for no reason. Korra and Jinora get split up because Korra's being a dick. At least that ties in. But after that, it's like, what the hell is going on? Jinora randomly gets fast-traveled to Wan Shi Tong's place out of nowhere. Iroh just finds Korra in the woods and gives her a pep talk. Things happen to our characters, but not because of any actions they purposely take, which is a really annoying thing that keeps coming up in this season. Things just happening because the plot needs them to, otherwise the plot would have no way to move forward. Jinora is captured because her spirit friend randomly decided to bring her to Wan Shi Tong's library, and Wan Shi Tong dropped dime on her. Korra doesn't have a character moment because she realizes how the spirit world works, or realizes her own problems and works to fix them. Iroh just shows up and tells her how the spirit world works and tells her how to fix her problems, and she does instantly. And then suddenly she has a way to fast travel to where the plot is happening. I know this season really takes a hit quality-wise from an already very shaky start and middle, and I think this is the pretty obvious start of the even further decline. Alright, real quick before the patrons, there's a man by the name of Alex Bale who's recently posted an Avatar Theory video that I may have a brief cameo in. It seems to be about some sort of cabbage man, which doesn't ring a bell to me, but the video is extremely well put together, not to mention very compelling, and I recommend you go give it and all his other stuff a watch. I'll link to that video in the description. Alright, patrons time. Patron shoutouts if you want to see the next 2 episodes of Overanalyzing Korra ahead of the YouTube releases. You can support me on Patreon for just a few bucks. Link, as always, is in the description below the video. Biggest shoutouts of all go to my top patrons. Aaron Langham, who I saw take a handful of sand and crushed it between his hands, resulting in, after a few seconds, a perfect glass recreation of Boise, Idaho. Also, happy birthday. There 50 Kobold, who can make a functioning crosswalk wherever he likes. Really useful when you have to, like, ford a river or something. Jammin, who hit their head and woke up knowing every animal call, even all the extinct ones, and some we don't know about. Leferk 13, who I saw pick the lock on a hand scanner. Luna Invicta, who only eats things they can hunt and catch before they hit the ground. They're not going to eat something off the floor. Lurfax 1, who has tried octuple Dutch skipping, and they escaped with only life-threatening injuries. Matthew Lang, who broke their arm by catching a puppy that was launched out of a cannon. One Leg Wonder, who broke their pinky by punching the guy who fired the puppy out of the cannon. Potato Scream, who was such a good videographer that they took a video of a fireworks show, and everyone actually agrees that, yeah, the video is better than actually being there. Starfish Hugger, who's able to cast spells based on which car their mom owns. Right now, they're stuck summoning a spectral bull because their mom owns a Ford Taurus. The former Meaning of Life, who doesn't have to have security cameras in their home because their entire town knows a 6-foot spider lives somewhere on their property. The 1 AM Party, who can guess any country's national anthem if they spend a day or two there. And Whitrow, who gets a 10% speed boost if you tell them to do something and then flip a little hourglass over. And of course, my other fuck you money patrons, a stack of pancakes, Aurora, Balmier Candle, Ben Misra, Donut, Gene Cree, Kevin Bartlin, Liquor Cause I Know Her, Omega Fighter, Tater of Tots, and That One Turian. And my god overanalyzers, Two Boots Are Beat, Ang, Alan Garvin, Andrew Jacobson, Andrew Watchett, Oropataro, Atlas Johannes, Billowing Mustache, Bob Deff, Chandler Crump, Charles the Fartbender, Kobe Smith, Deathly Healer, Dr. Xerox, Dominic Saint, Dricker, Emma Not Emma, Aaron Grace, Fire Lizard 44, I'm a Match, Jackson, Jeremy Rubenstein, John Ajaka, Justin Scott, Mac Eligio, Medium D Speaks, Michael Fallon, Mitchell Gobrecht, Nick, Nicholas Abbott, Octocrab TTT, Peter Bayron, Pogger White, Reese, Rocket Mish, Ryan Gogorkos, Ryan Maxwell, Sandy Stormborn, Shane Antonacci, Silk Toast, Smarty Marty, Spicy Ketchup, Super Snipper, Thomas Barrett, Victoria the Queen, Von Can't Spell, YouTube copyright sucks, Take My Money, and some sort of bear face. I wonder what the bear face is. Next up, we're really getting down to it. There's gonna be a real apocalypse ramping up here, I think.